What's up? What's up? What's up? What we got going this evening, folks? How's everybody doing? Mr. Bean in the house. What's up, buddy? What are you up to, man? We'll give him the usual couple of 3 minutes or so, Beaner. Who else we got? Who else we got? Darnell, what's happening, baby? How you doing, man? Is that how many you've had today? That's a lot of brew. That's a lot of brew. You must be hanging out with CJ Bean. Who else we got? Who else we got? Yeah, last weekend was fun, man. Right up until awards. TPC, what's going on, the poor conservative? Good to have you, man. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. You're not working tomorrow, Darnell? Mr. Tompkins, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you as usual, man. Nice seeing you. What have you been up to, John? There's an annoying fly in here tonight. Very annoying. All right, we're at 3 minutes, man. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another chat with Mom and Papa Joe's, man. This is number 26. And man, they've all been pretty fun the last few months, man. TPC, just let it rip, baby. Just let it rip. I can handle it, man. Let it rip. We're going to be talking tonight about something that some folks feel very strongly about. And I learned that quickly after I did a video using beef tallow and stated that, in my opinion, it didn't do anything. There were some people that weren't very happy with that. And I was very clear to say that, it was my opinion. So it wasn't an absolute. If it works for you, it works for you. But tonight we're going to be talking about how you have best used it if you've used it in the past, and if you've used it, how did you fail? I will mention what I thought my failure was, and then some other ways that you can take advantage of beef tallow. So right now, beef tallow is a brisket craze. And I think it all started with one video done by the mad scientist claiming that this was Aaron Franklin's brisket secret. And from there, it just took off. All of a sudden, we're hearing that Joe Blow down the street has been using it for many years, and they love it, whatever. But tonight we're going to be talking about that. So right off the bat, man, I will give you my experience. And before I cooked the brisket using beef tallow, I did the research. I watched multiple videos. I wanted to see how things were going to go. And I followed some of the exact steps I had seen on in some of the videos, and I just don't think it did anything for my brisket. And I'm going to be very honest. I don't think it did anything for my brisket. Then I went ahead and I tried it 2 other times. I didn't make videos, but I just wanted to see for myself that I do something wrong. And I absolutely, in the 3 attempts that I did, I honestly just did not see a benefit. I just did not see a benefit. So let's talk right quick. Have you ever used tallow on a brisket? And if so, what was your experience? Have you ever used tallow on a brisket during a brisket cook? And if so, what was your experience? If the brisket is full of tallow, what's the big deal? John, I am not sure what the big deal would be. And I don't know if you're referring to injecting a brisket with tallow. So has anyone out there used the tallow on a brisket? And if so, what was your result? TPC says that he tried it on just a flat and it made the flat greasy. And TPC, let me tell you right off the top, man, that is one of my primary concerns. You know, if you're going to inject that brisket, and again, folks, remember, I am not speaking in any absolutes tonight. If you've done something with the tallow in a particular way and it worked for you, awesome. Share that with us. I am speaking from my experience. And what I haven't experienced, I've got some opinions on. But again, they're just my opinions. John said he tried it on just a flat and it made it greasy. So, John, I mean, TPC, I am not sure if you injected that beef tallow directly into that brisket flat. But I can honestly understand how that would just be a greasy brisket. I mean, that's what oil is. More often than not, when we're cooking anything, we try to avoid the abundance of oil in a product. So for me, just thinking about what I'm doing, I just cannot see myself injecting a brisket with all that additional fat, all that additional oil, and it not be oily. So I can definitely understand that, TPC. So you inject it and wrap with that Wagyu tallow. That is a lot of oil. Yeah, that is a lot of oil. So I can almost see how that would play out. Now I will give you my experience. The first time I tried it, all I did was I cooked my brisket the regular way, spritz in with some beef stock and my Maggi, and I did not introduce beef tallow until it was time to wrap. All right, so I brushed the butcher paper with tallow, and then I poured a little tallow over the brisket and then wrapped it. And I had a beautiful bark, in my opinion, at that point. And went ahead and cooked the brisket, removed it as usual, let it rest. And man, when I opened it up, my bark had totally been destroyed. And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I used way too much tallow. I used way too much tallow because my bark had gotten soft. Instead of that dark, pretty bark that I wrapped at, it was a lighter color and mushy. So I said I would do it again using very little tallow. I cut the tallow by 3/4. So I probably only use about 1/4 of the tallow I used in the first brisket. And it was pretty much the same thing. It was pretty much the same thing. I had a destroyed bark, soft, mushy, and was not very happy with it at all. Then the third time I tried it, I figured, okay, I'm not going to put any tallow in the paper. I'm not going to put any tallow in the paper. What I did was kind of mop. I mopped 3 times with some beef tallow. And when I say a mop, I just took a brush and brushed a little tallow on it. Instead of spritzing, a little tallow on it 3 times during that cook. And then when it was time to wrap, I did the same thing as normal.
Putting the camera on you. I see you right here. You're back.
All right, folks. Sorry about that, man. We had to switch out the laptops. One of them took a crap on us in the middle of a stream. That was Mama's laptop that crapped out. All right, so we're back. So I think I last spoke of my failed efforts with the tallow. Let's see where we are.
John Tompkins had a good, if you go back to John Tompkins, if you're trying to render the tallow fat out of the brisket, why would you want to add it back in or on the brisket?
All right. All right. Darnell says he used beef broth or a beef soup base or some ghee instead of tallow. I've never used ghee. Definitely beef into beef broth, no doubt. Daddy Dutch, what's happening, man? Good to see you. So John Tompkins, if you're trying to render the tallow fat out of the brisket, why would you want to add it back in on the brisket? I don't understand the reasoning. I am 100% with you, John. And if I were to ever inject a brisket with tallow, I can see where it would be a very small amount mixed in with some other liquid, maybe a couple of teaspoons, couple of tablespoons at the max, mixed in with some beef broth or something along those lines. But I just don't see how I could bring myself to inject the brisket with pure beef fat and expect it to come out, like a normal brisket would. And that, again, is just my opinion. Bert Ends, what's happening, baby? Good to see you. Yeah, the tallow gods might have gotten me. Blasphemy. Yeah. And that is a great thing, Darnell. Another way you can use the fat from a brisket is to simply collect your drippings. Or if you happen to wrap in foil, there will be some liquid in addition to that actual beef drippings, the oil that you can then use to run your slices through. And it will give you a much better, I would think, texture or mouth feel than that oily feel you would get from directly injecting that brisket. Thank you very much, Chris. If you haven't yet hit that thumbs up, man, help us out. Anybody else have to fail? Am I the only one that had a fail with this tallow? Has anybody else tried it? Andre, you haven't missed anything, man. You haven't missed anything. I cut out for a little bit.
I failed. Remember I mixed it into biscuits, the homemade biscuits?
Oh yeah, Mama made some biscuits one morning right here. I'm sitting there with my coffee waiting for biscuits to come. And Mama decided that she was going to try the beef tallow in the brisket instead of butter. And I don't know if Mama used way too much or whatnot, but I took one bite of a biscuit and it was crumbly, oily. I'm talking about pure evil. It was an oily brisket, but it was crumbly. I mean, I got right up and walked over to the trash can. I said, babe, every last one of these has to go. Yeah. Don't ever do that again. Yeah. TPC said to John, aren't you trying to render it out, but to break down the fat between the fibers and make it tender? Yeah, that is the case. I just don't see how introducing some more oil is going to get that done. I could see maybe a little a little liquid, something water based, but definitely not oil. Charles, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. You try to render the fat cap, but you want to retain the broken down fat within the meat to retain juiciness. And folks, for the most part, what really helps to create that juiciness are those that collagen. That collagen is what breaks down, man, and really gets soft, retains that moisture, turns to a bit of a liquid jelly. That collagen. So it's not so much the oils; it's more the collagen. Does anybody out there have any positive ways of using beef tallow? And it doesn't have to be with brisket. It does not have to do with brisket. How have you found, what uses have you found for beef tallow? If you have any. I love beef tallow. I call them beef tallow potatoes. I will parboil some potatoes, man. After they're about 3/4 of the way cooked, I will then rough them up in a strainer. Really shake them up to sort of roughen up that soft exterior shell. And from there, I will spray or pour some beef tallow right over them, give them a nice toss, then put them in a single layer on a sheet pan and put them in a hot oven, 375 to 400, based on how your oven heats. And inside of 30 to 40 minutes, man, you've got some golden brown, crispy, very flavorful potatoes. And if you don't know, back in the days, when McDonald's really had their the world of French fries locked up, the Golden Arches were frying their fries in tallow, in beef fat. But at some point, somebody claimed that it wasn't the healthiest thing to do. That has been debunked since then. Based on the cattle that you're getting your tallow from, if they're not being injected with any growth hormones or steroids or whatever the case might be, if they've been fed a well balanced nutritional meal, you can end up with some very healthy tallow. So tallow is not that evil thing that we used to believe back in the days. Tallow has got quite a few health benefits. I'm no nutritionist, so I'm not going to try to even fake and get into some of the benefits. Just do your research and go from there. TPC said they used to use tallow on wagon wheel bearings and axles. That is so true. That is so true. Outside of cooking, man, it is great. It has medicinal properties. You can put it on skin irritations and a few other things. Eric, how you doing, buddy? TPC injects with beef consomme, a little soy sauce, garlic, and a little butter. I can see where that could be delicious, TPC. Sleeper is correct. The French fries, they're absolutely delicious. Because of the high smoke point, beef tallow is great for frying whatever. French fries, chicken, you name it. They're great. And if you haven't yet tried this, I have. I did it just recently on that steak video that I did. I put beef tallow on the hot griddle, but the mistake I made there, won't do that again. It didn't cause any problem. outside of the smoking. I added a little butter to that tallow. I thought it would give me more flavor, but that beef tallow alone will provide you enough flavor. If you're looking to seriously sear a steak on a hot pan or a griddle or something along those lines, don't use butter. You know, butter is going to smoke, butter is going to burn. Use beef tallow. I mean, it is actually the oil that comes from a piece of beef, steak, whatever the case might be. There's nothing better to sear than that beef tallow. And if you've got a large enough steak that you had to trim and remove fat, just put those pieces of trimmings, those fat trimmings, on that pan, and then sear the steak in it. That way, the oil will match the meat that it is cooking, and it will be a thing of beauty. It will be a thing of beauty. So, real quick, let's talk about what are some of the different ways you have made tallow. I've only made tallow once. And I did it what I call the lazy man's way. I actually chopped up my trimmings, my fat, and then placed it in a ceramic pot and put it in the oven on 250. And the entire thing took me about 10 hours. But I did it overnight. I got some sleep. I get up maybe every 3+ hours, give it a little stir. And at the end of that 10 hours, man, I had a beautiful golden brown, nice and clear golden, beautiful tallow. And all of the fat had pretty much rendered. The pieces of meat that were attached to that fat was almost like chicharron. You know, unseasoned. I didn't bother to eat or anything. I strained it, and I've still got 2 huge bottles of that tallow, one frozen and one sitting in the fridge. They will last a while, especially the one that's frozen. What are some of the other ways you have made tallow?
Super Barbecue said they've used it with steak and cheese, green pepper, and onion subs. Tom said flour tortillas.
Oh yeah, Tom Fuentes, Teddy's Barbecue in Westlaco makes homemade tortillas using beef tallow, and they also make beef fat cookies. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Mad was in the house. All right, Mad was in the house. Yeah, all my tallow has come from brisket trimming. True tallow, if you look up beef tallow, true tallow comes from the fat surrounding the kidneys, referred to as suet, suet, S-U-E-T. And it's a soft fat, lots of nutritional value, and that is where true tallow comes from. When we use trimming and everything, a lot of people said it's just drippings and it's not true tallow, but that's neither here nor there. We all know when we say tallow what we are referring to. I don't see a lot of suet floating around stores and whatnot. So our tallow is our tallow. Sleeper, steak and cheese with green pepper, onion. Oh man, that sounds delicious. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. TPC, the crock pot. That's another method that I have not tried yet. And when I run out, that might be the next way I make my next batch of tallow. Another way I'm really looking forward to making tallow, because I think of the possible introduced smoke flavor it might get is to actually make it on the pit. You know, after you've gotten all your trimmings on, maybe you've got a brisket on, or maybe you've got some ribs or something, is to put the pot with the tallow on the pit while everything else is smoking. And just introduce some smoke to that. Has anybody out there done that, used that method, or tasted tallow that was created with that method? Does it make a difference? Is there smoked flavor to it? I can see where that would be a possibility, and I would love to try it at some point. So crock pot is one way I want to try. Smoking it on the pit is another way I definitely want to try. You can also do it on the stove, but I think doing it on the stove is going to require a lot more hands-on, standing over that stove, watching it, making sure it doesn't burn. Those of you out there who have made tallow, did you use the water method? That is the one where you add water to the beef fat and let that water slowly evaporate while that tallow begins to render. I don't know, and I think that is just a way to prevent burning. I could see where that would be effective on the stove. So while that tallow begins to render, that water is there to prevent things from burning, because you don't want a scorch or a burnt flavor to that tallow. Let's see. TPC. Darnell, I enjoyed making that tallow, man. I ended up with a really beautiful tallow.
And it smells.
Yeah, and the whole house was just perfumed nicely. It was that nice golden yellow color, and then when it solidified, it was just a beautiful white. And I use it quite frequently. Yeah, used it quite frequently, man, and it works nicely. But like I said, when that one is done, I am going to try a different method. Maybe on the pit with a little smoke, and to see if that really, really kicks things up a notch. Mama wants to know, has anyone ever used it on French bread, like a garlic spread or butter? I don't know if I'd want that. When I think of tallow, I still think of oil. When I think of butter, I don't think of oil. So if I'm having garlic bread, it better be butter and not
Not like the biscuits.
Yeah, not tallow. Yeah, not like my mama biscuits.
They were pretty. Pretty bitter.
Chris wants to know, has anyone heard from Trumpet? Hope he's doing well. Usually Darnell has an update, Chris. Darnell, have you heard anything recently? I know still no videos out, so it's been a couple of weeks. John says the fat has a high percentage of water, so when you cook it down properly, it has that distinct smell, and it will fry the fat crispy when the water is removed. Oh yeah, I saw that happening in slow motion in my oven, John. I saw that happening. TPC, so true. You know, yeah, unconsciously, that just escapes you. You know, that there's so much water in butter until you put it on the stove and it begins to splatter as that water gets cooked off. Again, Darnell, I don't know if I want beef tallow in a salad dressing. You know, if I'm gonna have vinegar and oil, it better be olive oil. And man, you know what? I'm fairly adventurous, so I can see myself trying it. So I'm not gonna knock it until I tried it. It just sounds a little weird. Yeah, it just sounds a little weird. Darnell is getting ready to give Trumpet a call, and we will hear back from him in a few. Yeah, we will hear back from him in a few. Beef tallow shrimp tacos. Dre, what say you? Is that a thing? Is Dre still here? My pizza burning barbecue team. Long time subscriber, much appreciated. I was finally able to catch your live show. I always have to watch them the next day. Love the channel. Man, we appreciate hearing that pizza burning. Where are you out of, dude? Where are you out of? And in case anybody's interested, we've got our last class of the year. For right now anyway. End of October, last weekend, Friday and Saturday, 29th and 30th, at the Texas Barbecue Depot in New Braunfels. Get in where you fit in. That's right, Dre. Tom, don't start. Get off of shrimp. Yeah, get off of shrimp. The Guy Show, what's happening, Guy? How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Pizza Burning is out of Floresville. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, that is cool.
Somebody said popcorn?
No, I haven't seen that yet. Darnell plans on using a lot of duck and bacon fat this holiday season. I just picked up 3 cans of duck fat, and I'm really looking forward to putting them in use throughout the next coming months. And I mentioned it on a previous show. How can we get duck fat in a spray can and we can't get beef fat in a spray can? That just does not make sense. So I think there's an opportunity out there for somebody who's got a little know-how, a little entrepreneurial spirit. Get that beef tallow in a can so we can spray it. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Sleeper has used it on popcorn. Oh, that was a question. Have you used it on popcorn? Again, I want butter on my popcorn. I do not want oil. I know butter is an oil, but it's an oil that I'm accustomed to. I do not want. And I guess you can always flavor it. Anybody try to flavor it? Maybe add a little salt to beef tallow. I think that would be a thing. Yeah, that would be a thing. So we said, while I'm thinking of it, we said last week that we're going to give you a quick summary of the events of that cook-off in Plantersville, the Danny Dietz event. And man, coming off of having not cooked since May, we went out there and we had a fairly uneventful cook. We were very happy with all 3 of our turn-ins. We didn't make any major mistakes. coming off of that layover. And all was well. Nice shade tree, fairly decent breeze, even though it was warm. It was not a bad day weather-wise. And everything was good to go until we got to awards. And we never left our seats at awards. So it was one of those events, where you've got to you've just got to make yourself feel better knowing that you turned in, or you think you turned in what you set out to turn in. We hit all our marks. We were happy with our products, but the judges preferred something different, something that we did not have on Saturday. So we did not even have a final table. So it was one of those. So that I knew that summary wouldn't take very long. We sucked. And we came back home with our tail between our legs, and we're getting ready for another one next weekend. We will be in where are we?
Leander.
We will be in Leander, Texas. Darnell, if you have already spoken to Trumpet, let him know that next weekend we will be at the VFW in Leander. If he's still sick, then he can stay at home. But if he's feeling better, man, would love to have him come out and sit down a little bit, have a beer with us. Is Darnell still in the house?
Everett Barbecue. Joe said beef tallow ice cream.
Now, I'll get to that one. Because ice cream, there's some weird things that have been done with ice cream that has ended up pretty tasty. So I can see that one. All right. Dre, we might bring you in as a caterer for Friday night's dinner, man. Some shrimp tacos. We might bring you in as a caterer. I'm gonna have my people contact your people, Dre. Because we serve dinner Friday and breakfast Saturday morning.
You see John Tompkins.
Everett. So like I said, man, this one I would be interested in. I've never had, but I've seen things like bacon ice cream. I've seen oyster ice cream. Haven't had it, and would be willing to try oyster ice cream. So I don't see why I wouldn't be willing to try beef tallow ice cream. But so many weird things have been done with ice cream, so I don't see why beef tallow couldn't be involved. Wouldn't butter and tallow both be considered dairy products? So we TPC is a character. I don't know, when we speak of dairy, does it have to come out the udders? Yeah, I would think it has to come out the udders. So if that cow is squirting tallow, that might be an infection. Stay away. Stay away.
Darnell said somebody does have a tallow ice cream video. A brisket or a tallow ice cream video.
Oh, C-Mac. C-Mac Cooks has a brisket or tallow ice cream video. I'm going to have to peep that. And Darnell, I went looking for your YouTube today. I went looking for your YouTube this morning. What exactly is the channel? Because Starving Pig does not pop up. Starving Pig does not pop up, Darnell. Darnell, did you get my message about contacting
He said
Trumpet?
He's still under the weather, having heart to heart. He's still under the weather, having heart to heart.
Oh, he posted that one?
Darnell posted that
one.
All
right.
By the John Tompkins asked if we've ever had experience judging before. Tell us what our experience is.
If the cow is squirting tallow, it's probably Joe's. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I do not know. All right, so Trumpet is still not feeling well. Send him your thoughts and well wishes, folks. John, I have judged once. And it was the San Antonio Rodeo, and it was probably our second year in competitive barbecue. And I did one of the preliminary rounds. You know, when you're talking San Antonio Rodeo, you are looking at almost 300 entries, cooks. And we judged chicken. And having only had 1 year of competing under our belt, we still were not exactly sure what people were turning in. You know, so I always thought, okay, these guys are competitive cooks, man. You paid $600, $500 for an entry fee, that you're going to be turning in some quality products. We judged the preliminary round of chicken at San Antonio Rodeo, and it was so underwhelming. I'm talking some of the trash that was turned in by some of these cooks. You know, I don't know how long they have been cooking, but even with 1 year under my belt, I knew that they were turning in some pretty poor products. You know, we had chickens on our table, and I want to say we probably had 16 to 20 entries at our table for that round. We had chicken with feathers on them, or, you know, not big whole feathers, but the little fuzzy feathers that you don't want to see on a plate when you're getting ready to take a bite of something. We had chickens where the skin looked raw underneath the sauce. So the chicken got no color. It looked like they boiled it. But out of those 16 to 20 entries, we probably had 2 to 3 that were decent to great entries. And from that point on, you know, I was fairly done with judging. You know, you always hear seasoned cooks tell the young cooks, you know, to go judge to get an idea what people are turning. And I think that's a great idea. Only if you're able to judge some of the later rounds, like the final tables, where you've got just the best of the best. You don't want to judge an early round because it does nothing for you. For the most part, it might give you an idea what not to turn in. But if you want to find out what to turn in, then you got to do your best. You got to know somebody to talk to somebody to see if you can't get on those last tables, those final tables, where the best of the best are now being judged. Preliminary rounds, you're not going to get anything from it. So, John, that is my experience to this point with judging. Mama has done a lot more judging. And more often than not, when she has to go judge, it's because somebody is twisting her arm. They're short judges at this event, so Mama will go judge. But she doesn't want to do it for the most part, and I don't blame her. Let's see, where are we?
There's a strange conversation going on with the last three. Tom said you need to change your night. He's missing Thursday night football.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. When the Rams are playing on Thursday night, there won't be a live stream. Yeah. If the Rams are playing, there won't be a live stream. And I know y'all saw those Rams bust up those Raggedy Bears last Sunday. All right. So I don't know who's a Bear fan, but they suck. Tom. Sleeper, I saw Everett drop a Tenderloin video. I haven't watched it yet. I'll get to it. Millennial, come on, man, get real. Millennial, you and I, we see eye to eye for the most part. Yeah, we see eye to eye for the most part. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. Thyron, my man, what's happening, baby? How are you doing, man? Guys and gals, TNT took time out. I think I'm hanging with Mom and Papa Joe for a little bit. You know, last Thursday, I ended our live stream with the intention of going to watch Dallas play a little football. An hour and a half later, and probably a good couple of 5 or 6 more hits of cognac, I am leaving TNT's live stream after some awesome quality conversation, man. That was nice, TNT. That was nice. Hey, I think Stafford is going to be the man, man. He needed a change of scenery, as did the Rams at quarterback, and I think Stafford might be the man. Yeah. If their running game comes around, they're going to be difficult to beat. El Barrio Cooker said he smoked 5 brisket this past weekend and made some homemade beef tallow. Amazing golden color and flavor. El Barrio, did you do the beef tallow on the pit while you were smoking those briskets? And Darnell, I still did not get your YouTube. Darnell, what's your YouTube? TNT, come on, man. You in Iowa. What do you know about the Cowboys? I'm right here. And I don't hate the Cowboys. I hate their fans. So every chance I get, I just poke at their fan. I'm just poking the Cowboys fan. And I enjoy doing it. If they would just shut their mouths. But every year it's the same thing. We're going to do it this year. We're going to do it this year. Just shut up and enjoy the game. Yeah. Just shut up and enjoy the game, Cowboy fans. Oh, they got all the memes and everything else, man. So every loss, I just go poking at them. El Barrio said that he did it on the pit. Now, did that tallow, El Barrio, did that tallow have a smoked flavor? That is how I want to do mine in the very near future. The next time I have to make a batch.
Darwin's with us.
TNT, boy, you are just straight busy, man. Yeah, you are straight busy. I know when you get cut, it bleeds smoke. Yeah. I know it bleeds smoke.
Darwin said, tallow is BS.
Darnell, I thought you had a YouTube channel. I seriously thought you had a YouTube channel. I still don't do a whole lot of Instagramming. Yeah. Darwin, I got to agree with you, man. Absolute BS. Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you. For brisket. It's got a lot of great uses. And we spoke about many of those uses earlier. But in terms of brisket, nah. It's a waste. El Barrio, yes, I'll never buy another can of tallow. Not when you can make it, not when you're cooking 5 brisket and you're getting all that trimming. I totally agree. TNT is a beast, man. TNT is a beast.
Hey.
Yeah, I cannot do all that cooking the way he does.
C. Ayers says that he cooked some pork ribs last weekend and did a comp recipe with sugar, butter, and sauce in the bottom of the foil, but lost his bark on the meat side. Any tips for maintaining the bark through the wrap?
Ayers, man, you got to look at any one of our rib cooks on our channel. Anyone, I've got one where I do a competition in backyard, side by side. And I do not, what a mistake, and I call it a mistake. It works for some people, and for others it don't. I see a lot of people, you know, when they put their butter and their sugar and honey or whatever else in the bottom of the foil, they flip their ribs meat side down in that liquid. Of course, for the most part, you're going to lose quite a bit of bark. I don't do that, have never done that. Try putting it bone down in that liquid. But you do want to put a little bit of that same, those same ingredients you put on the bottom of the foil, you want to put them on top of the rib to include the liquid. And then wrap. When you're coming out of that wrap, you're going to have that built-up liquid on the bottom of the foil. Just like in the video, and you will see it, you spoon that liquid back over the meat side to take advantage of all that built-up flavor. And that will keep your bark 100%. Take a look at our competition and backyard rib video, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Great question. Don't flip the ribs. Don't flip the ribs. Tell him, Darwin. Yeah, do not go meat down. Oh, he said that's what he tried to follow. Did you go meat down? And if that's the case, then chances are there was too much on the ribs or it hadn't set the way you wanted it to. And if there's too much, it definitely will not set. So those are a couple of possibilities. Millennial, he wants to serve some nice vegetable sides with his wings and game day food this weekend. Millennial, I don't know if you're into cauliflower. Grilled cauliflower is delicious. You slice them into steaks, maybe half an inch or 3/4 of an inch thick. Black pepper, salt, a little brush of olive oil. Ooh, we're talking beef tallow. If you've got some, maybe brush a little beef tallow on there and grill over some high heat. I prefer them on the Weber. You get a nice quick char, nice crisp on the outside, and they're very tender and tasty. You're going to be surprised how delicious, how flavorful the cauliflower is.
I said roasted Brussels.
Yeah. Roasted Brussels sprouts, another great one, man. A little honey. Again, black pepper, salt, olive oil. or beef tallow. All right. And then just before finishing, drizzle with a little honey and some balsamic vinegar. And again, that can be done on the pit or in the oven. And those are absolute delicious. They'll go great with chicken wings.
Andre said bacon wrapped asparagus. Somebody said you ever took the gas machine.
Uh-huh. Bacon wrapped asparagus, blanch for about 2 minutes, and then wrap with the thin bacon. I will tell you, I like asparagus, but I like them a little crisp. So that's probably a very good recipe. I would skip the blanching part to maintain more of a crisp. Yeah, but Mama does the wrapped asparagus quite often. North Texas barbecue addicts, what's happening, buddy? Barrio said he cooked his briskets hot and fast for the first time ever and poured the tallow over the briskets, then wrapped and cooked them until 210 and chopped for brisket sandwiches. All right, that sounds like a winner. TNT. Man, when we decided to do fish for dinner, I know we've never had a seafood video that did very well in terms of views, but I was just so in love with this recipe, I had to show it. And they were absolutely delicious. Now, perfectly cooked, but I realized after I took a couple of bites that once fish has been frozen and then thawed out, that flesh just is not what it would be fresh out of the water or never frozen. It wasn't quite as flaky as I would have liked because of the freezing process. So if you have access to fresh, never frozen, and that recipe would work on any type of fish, it's an awesome recipe. Yeah, it's an awesome recipe, very flavorful, but I think it would work best on never frozen fish. And I love cooking whole fish only because there's very little waste, as opposed to filleting where you leave all that meat on the bones. Whole fish, man, all that meat comes right off of there. And growing up in Belize, the fish head was usually reserved for adults. So as a kid, whenever we were able to get our hands on a fish head, man, it was a treat. So I'm not going to even lie when I say I did mess up those, the top half of the fish. Man, some awesome ideas. Some Brussels sprouts, butter, fresh garlic, Cholula. Man, I'm not a fan of Cholula and honey, but that combination, that would be beautiful. I would probably skip that Cholula, maybe even go with some Tabasco or Louisiana, but not a fan of Cholula. All right, so I think Darnell heard from Trumpet. Dre, Tom gave you a compliment. For once, you made sense. Good man. Good man. Keep him in your
fish head soup. I never tried it. Fish head soup with coconut milk.
Keep him in your prayers, gang. He is still home or admitted to the hospital yet. Any suggestions on clever Halloween-themed barbecue names? Thinking of doing beef ribs and calling them Frankenstein ribs. Pork ribs, call them Frankenweenies. Yeah. Let's see if anybody got anything for you. See, I don't. Thank you, Millennial. He said, fish head for adults. Don't grow up. It's a trap. I've had fish head soup in a Filipino restaurant, and it was delicious. My mom also makes it. Yeah, my mom also makes it. Delicious. Man, there's some, just like a hog's head or a cow's head, there's a lot of delicious delicacies on a fish's head. Yeah, some good stuff. There's one for you, TPC. Bacon weave over pulled pork. Call it mummy's guts. You're sick. Barramundi. I've seen it on TV. There isn't a whole lot of it in my fish markets around here. Yeah. Later, Z. I'll holler at you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hour and 6 minutes, man. You guys kept me a little 6 minutes past. You guys kept me a little 6 minutes past. Let's see what we got. All right, Donna, we're still talking about Trumpet, right? He's home, but in serious condition. All right, I told him I won't say anymore unless he's cool with the update. Man, just just let him know everybody's thinking of him, man. Yeah, let him know everybody's thinking of him. And there are a lot of good people out there praying for him. The best brisket I've ever cooked, man. I've cooked a lot of briskets. I've messed up a lot of briskets too. To pick my best brisket, I'll probably have to go to a competition.
No. When Trooper cut his foot and you left that brisket for 17 hours. Oh, and your sister.
Yeah, that was a good brisket. Yeah. But my best brisket is probably at a competition. And it was probably hold 'em and hit 'em some years ago.
Or first place San Antonio Rodeo.
Yeah. Brisket. Oh yeah. Now we've had some awesome briskets cooked, so it's gonna be hard to pull one out, T. It's gonna be hard to pull one out. Yeah, it is gonna be hard.
Peace out, Andre.
D said, where's the trivia question? Yeah, nobody got it last week, man. And I didn't even take time out to think of one this week. So I will double up next week. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys go back, man, and finish watching the game tonight. And thank you once again for hanging out with Mom and Papa Joe. You guys take care of yourselves. And we will see you when we see you.